Yeah. A little insight.
Yeah,
So
sure.
let's start with that. Can you give
What do you
everybody
want to
some
start off?
give everybody some feedback first on the crash course, and then we'll go into GBP CHF.
Sure, yeah. So I've already done the crash course, and it's I think it's definitely must need for every single trader that's with us, or even that new traders, obviously that haven't don't know what the forex market is, don't know what trading is. I think you give very detailed, clear explanations on how trading works and how we can capitalize on the forex market and how it moves. So definitely clear cut and concise.
Do you think it's too cheap? Is it the right price? What do you think?
You see, the thing, I don't think it's too cheap because I think it is too well. I think it's too cheap for the knowledge that you give. That let's put that out there because I think if it's $10 if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, if people don't if people don't want to take that for $10, I think they're not thinking. They clearly don't want to get into trading. I mean, that is an absolute steal for $10. That
that was
ten
kind of
dollars
my
you could
intent.
be charging about $100, $200 for that, to be honest, with the time and effort that you put into it and the knowledge that you give.
Yeah, well, that was kind of my intent. Is that I wanted it to be like almost like you feel obligated to buy it, so to speak, because it's
Yep,
so cheap. You know what I
exactly.
mean? With
100%.
Okay, good. Well, I wanted to go over that. I appreciate you saying all that. I want to go into GBP. Let me flip this here. Let's go over GBP CHF, and then we'll talk about GBP NZD as
Sure.
it continues to develop. So I've got it marked up. What was your entry price this morning on this?
Let me get my entry price exactly. My entry price was 1.26878.
1.2687.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You had a good price right about there. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
What was your stop? Like 10 pips?
10 pips, 10.4 pips with the spread. So my stop was at 1.26774.
Why 10 pips?
I just had it that low from the 1 minute structure. So I got on the 1 minute and I had that at the low at that 1 minute structure. Just at that, give myself some space, you know?
Yep, makes sense. Tell me, what do you
Yep.
think? Do you want to start with the 15-minute and give us your analysis there, or do you want to start with the 1 minute?
No, we start with the 50 minute. I mean, that's the basis that we always go off. So
Okay.
obviously there was some divergence at the top. I had divergence marked off and the swap in liquid 50 as the two knocks. So definitely a C setup in play.
Let me draw that. Were you drawing
Yeah,
the divergence from
divergence.
back here, or were you drawing the
I was
divergence from right
drawing.
here?
I was drawing it more from back there, from that start of yesterday. Correct. Yeah, from there. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually see it actually hit that high today, the divergence structure right now, and came right back down to my entry price now.
Yep. So did you draw any zone like this at yesterday's high?
Yeah, yep, I did. I always draw in the yesterday's high
Okay.
and low zone. So I was looking to my first profit target was looking to trade it towards that Asian range high.
Makes sense. With a 10 pip stop, your risk reward there was about 1.3, so that's still pretty good just to
Correct.
get it to there.
Yeah,
Because you would
100%.
anticipate, hopefully, you can push through that a little bit. You know what I mean?
To the maybe to the divergence structure.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So I guess most people that are watching this are going to be like, well, James, how did you buy it here with the market sentiment line so low in the sell zone? Like, what was your thought there?
Sure. Sure. So I think it goes back to what we were saying on the stream last week, where that move down in the Asian range just pulls that market sentiment line down, into the sell zone because of that big move down to an Asian range, just holding the eight from basically the start of the day. And then what I was basically looking at was the high time frames are clearly long biased on GCHF, the 1 hour and the 4 hour, if I'm not mistaken. So the long bias is there.
Yep, one
If you look
hour.
there, yep. So
Yep,
see how it's
yep.
making like high lows and lower high lows and high highs. Yep, that's the one. And then yeah, so now we can. So I think at what was the time that we had that shift candle? I know one of the guys at our coach thought that was a two candle formation at 3:45 Eastern time, 9:45 my time, but it was actually a shift candle where the 8 and 21 get into that short term upshift, right?
It's good that you
So
clarify
what?
that because I think a lot of people will confuse that. You can't have the
Yep,
two candle formation until you get the shift,
correct.
and that's where the shift is.
Yep. So, yeah. So just to touch on that, because I was explaining to the guy that I was coaching, was you can't get, as you said, you can't get a two candle formation before you get that upshift. And that 8 and 20 cross there, so that is that shift candle upshift. You can't really call it a shift candle because the L50 is in the sell zone, so call it a shift, the upshift.
Yep.
So what I did there was, and I've been using this pattern a lot lately. We spoke on the phone yesterday on FaceTime. So maybe have something cool coming up in the future. But how I've been using this is that upshift or downshift is very, very powerful. And when I saw that upshift, I went down to the 1 minute and looked if I can get a 1 minute retest. And that's where I got in with my stop at an even better risk to reward ratio.
So let's pull that up. So did you have any divergence drawn? Like, did you draw the divergence back into the Asian session here?
I did, yes. I had a D1 off the Asian range low and 200, I called it.
Okay. Right here, like that. Yep. So that happens, and that's at like 3 a.m. my time. And you didn't end up taking the position till like 4, almost 5 o'clock. So,
yep.
And what I really liked about it was when you told me you took the position, look at how long the market sentiment line had been holding the buy zone when you took the position.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And that's exactly what we like to see after we get that upshift. You would like to see a nice clean retest on the 1 minute with the L50, 1 minute L50 in the correct zone.
Yep. Cool. So then what you're looking for, as you said, it breaks under the 50 EMA, comes back up through it, holding the market sentiment line in the buy zone. That's where you take the signal. And you're using this right here as the most recent higher low as your stop loss level. Why are you using this and not this? Because to me, this is where I do have like questions about the way that this system could work. What if this had to come back down and retest it very close and then moved up? You'd get tagged out, which I've seen that before. What are your thoughts on that?
Yep. I think that what I used there, so where my stop was, it was below the 50 EMA on the 50 minute. My stop was slightly below the 50 minute 50. And if it comes back down more than that, I think I don't really want it. It could be a sign that it's not working out.
And so, also, if it did come down to that level, where the stop loss is right there. So that would have been a bearish candle coming through the 50, coming through the 8, coming through the 21, all on the 15 minute, which would have been, like you said, all right, this isn't ready yet, get out now. So that makes sense. 100%. Okay. I can definitely understand that. And then look at from the entry point, it runs right up to 2R.
Straight into profit. And
22
straight into
pips.
Profit. I didn't even have drawdown.
No.
Yep. And I think what is so nice is with that retest, look how it's a nice clear high low and that big bar coming through the 50, 21 and 8 and the 8 and 21 even crossing on the 1 minute. So it's such a nice signal that shows me that it should move higher if this trade is going to play out.
So really what this is not an A1. It's a D1 entry, 15 minute and 1 minute, using the shift recently to set the trend, then the 1 minute for entry as a D1 would. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, 100%. It's basically a D1. It's a more advanced level D1, if you want to call it that.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's an advanced D1.
One of the guys that I was showing, that I was speaking to now, said you should call it the J1.
The J1. That's funny. Let me hear everybody in the chat really quick. Are you guys hearing audio okay? Is there any echo, any double? I just want to make sure it's coming through okay. Because I can see on my thing. That way, just so we're clear. Gerber's here. He's saying, so Randy said, I like how he said that. Even though it's not an A1 shift candle, it's still an upshift. It needs to be noted. He's talking about this shift right here. Yep.
Okay, got you.
Yep. Dakota. So Dakota was one of the guys at our Miami seminar a couple of months ago. He said that was my light bulb moment at the Miami seminar. No formations until the shift. Yep. Good. Awesome. So yeah, I like this a lot, bro. And I think like we talked about this, like you said yesterday, we talked about this a lot on our call where you and I were going over these entries. I think that there is something here. I don't know what the winning percentage of it is. And I think that's all we need to figure out. You know what I mean? Because I think that
I agree.
You've seen these so well, bro. Like you do this so often. I literally said yesterday to everybody, I said this to James. I was like, he always gets these trades where they drop to the 200 and then he sees the divergence and he sees the shift and then he's trading off the 8 EMA and he catches a rip, just catching that extension move off the 200. And I don't see it the same way. So that's why I like talking to you about it, because even you talking about it educates me on it. And then that helps me understand it even better going forward too.
Yep. 100%.
Okay. So